Hi, I'm Tracy Bowyer and I am the coordinator of parent services for the ADHD Foundation. I'm delighted to be delivering this pre-recorded session for Witherslack group on family occasions and neurodiversity. So family occasions can be stressful for most people, not just those who are neurodivergent. But for those who are neurodivergent, they can find family occasions particularly difficult. And this is, there's an expectation that these events are going to be fun, that everyone's going to have a lovely time, that it's going to be great getting the whole family together. But actually, it can be the opposite. It can be a really stressful situation. So the event, it may well be Christmas, it may well be a birthday or Halloween or a wedding, christening, whatever the occasion. There can be lots and lots of stress associated with it for our neurodivergent children and young people. And this is certainly my experience for my children who are both autistic. When it comes to any sort of big event, any family occasion, we can often see lots of challenges, not just with the event, but on the lead up to event that cause a lot of stress for us as a family. So thinking about the preparation of the occasion, so the build up and the preparation for that event can be very, very difficult, not just the event itself. So, it might be that as part of that build up to the event, there's lots of other things that involve. So think about shopping, for example, new clothes, new shoes, having to go to lots of different or busy environments, trying new things on, might need to have a specific type of dress or a suit fitting, for example. Maybe they're going to a wedding, they're going to be bridesmaids or a page boy, for example, might have sensory challenges with some of the fabrics, but not got any control over that. Barbers and hairdressers as well, so might need to plan in for new hairstyles or practice hairstyles, might have to wear a headdress, for example, or new slides or new products in the hair. But just thinking about the anticipation of the event as well. So worrying about the event before it's even arrived, those feelings of panic, feelings of dread for some of our children and young people, just on the build up of the occasion. Uncertainty as well. So, that anxiety is often due to uncertainty. So not knowing what to expect from the event, not knowing maybe where it's going to take place, not knowing if it's going to be somewhere familiar or if it's going to be in a new place, who's going to be there, what's going to happen, what will be the order of events, will it be loud, will it be crowded? Are your young people going to have to be involved or play a specific role within that event? Where are they going to have to sit? Who will they be sitting with? Is it going to be familiar people or is it going to be people that they don't know? Will there be food? If there is going to be food, will there be a choice? Will there be things that they like? What's going to happen if there's no food on their safe food list, if they have specific preferences for food? So feelings of stress as well. So it might be that then, because of feelings of stress, because of that anxiety around anticipating the event, they may sort of experience physical manifestations of stress. So upset stomach or headaches. They may be more irritable than usual. They may be more emotional than usual. They may find it really difficult to regulate their emotions. We might see that they are repeatedly asking questions about the event, wanting to know how long or how many sleeps before an event. So seeing those signs of physical and emotional distress on the build up to the occasion. The event may well be taking place at home. So just because it's taking place at home doesn't necessarily mean that there's not going to be any changes for our young people. May well be at somebody else's home or at another venue. But regardless of where it takes place, our neurodivergent young people are likely to be experiencing some challenges due to those changes. So even if it's a home, you know, our young person's usual routine is likely to change. There's going to be more people present in their home environment than they used to be in there. There may be people that they've never met going to be within the family home. It might be that usual activities that they would usually access as part of their routine may be cancelled or rescheduled. So, for example, it might be that Saturday night movie night has been moved to another night. It might be that their usual time for eating has been changed. So where they maybe normally have their evening meal at 6 o'clock, maybe they're going to be having it at 8 o'clock. The type of food may well change. So maybe usually it's Saturday night is takeaway night, or it's pizza night, or they have a specific meal, but actually maybe it's going to be a buffet instead. There may well be more noise. So obviously we're going to, in an environment where there are more people than usual, then we're going to see an increase in noise. We're going to see more people talking. We're going to have overlap with those people talking. We'll have laughing. We'll have the noise from utensils and dishes sort of banging together and being scraped. We may have music. We may have chairs scraping, furniture being moved. There may well be additional smells, so lots of different food type smells, lots of perfumes, aftershaves. Even if if we go to somebody else's home, then, and even if they're familiar with that person's home, they're still going to be experiencing changes within that environment. So again, for all the reasons that those changes would happen in a home, even in a familiar home of somebody else, we're not going to see those challenges around additional people, noises, smells, and activities. If it's a home that they've never been to before, everything about the environment is going to be unfamiliar. They're not going to know what to expect regarding rooms, regarding the layout, where the bathrooms are, where do you sit, are there any quiet places, what are the expectations within that home. It might be that they have to travel. It might be a short distance, so it might be that they can walk. It might be that they have to travel on a bus. They might have to travel by car, might have to travel by train, for example. And so that might be a challenge for some of our young people. It might be that the place that the occasion is happening is so far away that they have to travel and stay overnight, either at that person's home or in a hotel, for example. If the occasion is happening at an alternative venue, then again, we've got those challenges regarding it being an unfamiliar environment. They're not going to know what to expect. Again, those challenges around traveling to and from the venue. An alternative venue as well often means that the groups of people that are meeting are going to be much larger, which then would mean, you know, more noise, more smells as well. Additional challenges that may well be associated with family occasions are often things like social expectations. So for our young people who are neurodivergent, they may well already experience differences in terms of social interactions. But it might be that other people have expectations in terms of how they should present, how they should be act within those family occasions. But just things like for our young people, seeing lots of people at the same time, it might be that they are seeing lots of people who they are familiar with and know well, but they're not used to seeing them all at the same time. So that it's fine, they can interact and engage perfectly fine when they're seeing them at different times. But when you've got all those people in that one environment, they may experience challenges with that. Just being able to meet new people, people that they don't know very well, they may well find that very difficult. The expectation of whether or not they need to give hugs or kisses when they greet people or when they're saying goodbye to people. Will they be expected to engage in conversations or general chit chat with people? Will they be expected to engage in any type of organised activities? Will they be expected to sit at the table with people that they don't know very well or they've never met before? Sensory challenges can be a big part of difficulties for our neurodivergent young people. So thinking about the environment, are there too many lights? Are the lights too bright? Are the lights too dim? Is there lots of flashing lights? Are there lots of cameras with flashes? So they may struggle with those types of sensory challenges. Or too much noise. So thinking about music or chairs scraping, those cutlery and those dishes, laughing, those overlapping conversations that I mentioned, children crying or screaming, people singing, they may experience difficulties with that. Also in terms of touch, so clothing, people touching them, hugs, kisses, crowds and all close proximity to other people, maybe that they're expected to get onto group photographs, for example. It might be that they're sat in a really crowded environment in the midst of all that. And because of all of these factors, our young people are likely to experience heightened anxiety. They're likely to experience emotional dysregulation. So we might see an increase in self-regulatory behaviours. We might see pacing. We might see arm or hand flapping or finger flapping or rocking or jumping or spinning, flicking objects, or any other type of repetitive type of activity that the young people uses to calm and regulate themselves. We might see that they refuse to engage with others. They start to refuse to participate in the activities. They might try and withdraw from the situation because they're feeling overwhelmed, because they're feeling emotionally dysregulated. We might see them experience a meltdown or have a big emotional response, or they might experience a shutdown, withdrawal going within themselves. Excuse me. So if our young people are becoming overwhelmed, they may well go into that fight, flight, freeze response. So that might look like, for some of our young people, that fight response, it might look like anger or irritation or frustration, hitting out or aggression, for example. Flight may well look like panic or fear, restlessness, leaving or running off without any thought for the safety, just needing to escape the environment. Or freeze, our young people may well dissociate themselves, they may withdraw, they may well shut down. And what we need to do is we need to identify and minimize the triggers that are going to overwhelm our young people. We're going to need to try and identify strategies to support them, to prevent them from escalating up that stress response curve, to prevent them from becoming overwhelmed and resulting them in possibly experiencing a meltdown or a shutdown. So thinking about how we can support our young people, we can try and prepare them best we can for the occasion. So let's talk about the occasion. Let's talk about the different scenarios that may well occur and how they could be managed. What will support them within those situations? What can they expect? It might be that we can use rehearsal and role play to support our young people, preparing them and practicing as much as possible. Talk about what time they're going to arrive. Talk about what time they will be leaving, who is going to be there, what will be the expectation, what is likely to happen, what will be the order of events if we know that. And where is it going to, is it going to happen at the home? Is it going to happen at someone else's home or in an alternative venue? If so, can we show them photographs if it's not going to be within the home, if it's going to be in someone else's home, if it's going to be in another venue? Can we show them photographs? Can we use Google Earth to show them where it is? Is there a 360-degree tour available online? Can you go and visit a few times? Can you familiarise your young person with the environment? Excuse me. Talk about the positives, not just the negatives as well. What's going to be really good about it? What are they going to enjoy about it? Is there some history associated with it that you can talk about that maybe they'd be interested in? And then can we prepare them in terms of a countdown to the event so they know exactly when it's coming up? If it's going to be within the home, and there's going to be a change within the environment, for example, can we introduce those changes gradually? Can we look at any decorations that are going to be put up? So Christmas is a perfect example of this. You know, can we decorate the rooms gradually so our young people can get used to the changes? If it's going to be for a birthday party, can we gradually put all those decorations up? Can we show them? Can we talk about those decorations? Is there a possibility of having fewer decorations, lower lighting as well, or lighting in only in certain rooms? Can we avoid extra noise? Can we just have speaker in certain areas as well, so that our young people have got somewhere that they can access, where they can sort of have a break from that additional noise and additional visual stimulation? Routine. So, you know, ultimately their routine is going to change, but if we can keep some of that routine, as much of their usual routine as possible. So if it is usually pizza night, for example, as part of that buffet, can we include pizza? Can our young people have their meal a bit earlier than others? Can they have access to their food a bit earlier than others? And keeping as much of their usual routine as possible reduces anxiety. Also, you know, if we can't, what we can't stick to, can we at least schedule it? Can we draw up a schedule of the events and when they're likely to happen so they know what to expect? Have a plan as well. You know, can our young people be involved, if possible, in the planning of the occasion? Can they plan where they can sit? Can they plan who they would like to sit by? Can they plan what foods they are going to be eating and when they will be eaten? If there are not going to be any foods that are going to be available that they like, can they take foods with them? So putting a plan in place to prevent our young people from becoming overwhelmed. Quiet places as well. So is there somewhere that if they are starting to become overwhelmed, is there a quiet place that they can go to? Can that space be identified in advance? Can they see it? Can they have photographs of it? Can they be, you know, have something to indicate that they need to be able to withdraw to that quiet place? Practice changes as well. So, you know, talk about what the changes are going to be well in advance. Practice it where, if possible, you know, if it's going to be that the pizza night on a Saturday is going to be disrupted by the event, you know, can we practice that a couple of times? Show them that it's okay. It's a positive. It can be positive change, and it's okay to have pizza night on a different night of the week. Modeling as well. So with our young people, so modeling what we can do in general when things change and practicing that, you know, modeling if things change for you, how do you cope with that change? What can you do to support yourself? Can you maybe incorporate some relaxation techniques that you can model, that you can introduce to your young person as well? Talk about how something changed in your day and how you handled it. Sensory items as well. If your young person benefits from sensory items, talk about what you can take with you to the occasion, what they can use during the occasion, and prepare a toolkit. So it might be a toolkit of fidgets that they find helpful, calming and regulating. It might be things like ear defenses or headphones with music or earbuds, weighted blankets, sunglasses and things like that. Think about their clothing as well. Do they need to wear restrictive clothing? Can they dress comfortably? Can we avoid certain fabrics? Build in flexibility as well. Can you arrive a little bit later? Can you leave a little bit earlier? Can you just stay for a shorter amount of time? Thinking about breaks for our young people, can they have regular breaks to recharge? You know, especially if it's going to be a long day or an evening, is there the opportunity for them to be able to just go for a walk, to be able to sort of get themselves back together? And then thinking about family. So not everyone might understand the challenges our neurodivergent young people might experience during family occasions, but explain in advance why they might not like to be kissed or hugged, and explain that they're touch sensitive, explain that they struggle with loud music or they have auditory sensitivities, explain they might become overstimulated by light and visual sensitivities, and provide them with information in advance so that they have a good understanding of your young people. But more importantly, establish rules and boundaries with family members of what is and isn't okay for your young person. You know, offer alternatives to things. So if your young person doesn't like to be touched, doesn't like to be kissed, are they comfortable with a fist bump or a high five when they're greeting or saying goodbye to someone, for example? Talk to the family members about what's okay and what's not okay, and let people know what they can do to support your young person if they're becoming overwhelmed. So we need to be able to help our children to recognise as well those physical signs of anxiety for themselves, be able to express how they're feeling as well. So that they can recognise when they are starting to move up that stress response curve, what can they use in their toolkit to help them regulate. So talking to our young people in advance of the occasion about how they recognise when they're starting to escalate, how they recognise when they're starting to become dysregulated, how they recognise when they're starting to become overwhelmed, and what will support our young people to manage that. So having those conversations in advance can be really helpful, and then planning for those things. And then some additional strategies, really. So validating our young people's feelings as well, showing that we understand how hard it is for them to be able to attend these family occasions. Can be, you know, we know that they try really hard. Think about, you know, building in these techniques such as muscle relaxation to support them during these maybe overwhelming situations. Can they practice progressive muscle relaxation and then use it throughout the occasion? Can they practice things like deep breathing and use that when need be, when they're starting to become dysregulated? Mindfulness as well, so helping them to sort of become present in the moment, helping them to be able to ground themselves, grounding techniques, using technology as well. So for some of our young people, focusing on something, maybe their Nintendo DS, their iPad, listening to music or podcasts, they can be really helpful and help them to sort of distract them rather than focusing on their anxiety. So even things like Sudoku or word searches can also be helpful. Can we take those things with us as part of that toolkit to support our young people in those family situations? And then the next day, thinking about providing recovery days, thinking about providing our young people with a day to recuperate and get over the family occasion, and not just our young people but ourselves as well. So thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy the session, and take care. Bye for now.